Peter. I'm a Compass Plus consultant. I've worked with CEC for around 18 months now. And prior to that, I used to be a teacher at a local college to where I live. And I was involved in sort of curriculum teaching, and also then a bit of careers lead involved in that. So in terms of my background, hopefully quite well sort of suited to what we're going to go through today. So a little look at just an agenda of some learning objectives. So get started with Compass Plus and how to use that effectively. I'll go into my demo account to ensure you can see sort of where you can access the information, and then how you can then use the data that you get back from that to sort of best advise your careers plan moving forwards. We'll look at where you can access resources and training. Again, within Compass Plus, there is a help section in there, so we'll look at that. And I think at the moment, Hina's going to sort of man the Q&A. So if there are any questions that are burning and you want to get them asked, then please feel free to do so. Hina will look after those in the chat, and I will try and save time at the end to go through any Q&A that we have, and any questions that link to sort of demo and where to find things. So we'll leave time for that as well. So what I'd like you to be able to sort of go away with by the end of this session is to identify the key areas of functionality, the areas that you may need to use to get the most out of Compass Plus, and also help you to plan a really robust and thorough careers program. How to use the data intelligence from the various aspects of Compass Plus in putting together your careers plan, and then again where to find support and training. So for anybody that is new to Compass Plus,
yes, you could you put it into slide mode because it's really small.
Oh, is it? Yes, of course I will. Yeah,
Thank
give
you.
me 2 moments. Oh, is that better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
Yeah, great. No problem. No problem. So yeah, so Compass Plus, it's a free digital tool, which, like we've got there, it allows you to sort of benchmark and track your careers provision at a really individual level. So from the different data visualizations that Compass Plus can provide you with, from your evaluations, from your Future Skills Questionnaire results, it can really allow you to look at careers provision in a granular level, so you can really drill down into the specifics of the data and make any interventions that you need to really individualize your careers provision for all of your learners moving forward. That type of thing, Ofsted really love, where you're making individualized interventions to best support your learners. It's something, it's a really powerful tool, and like I say, Ofsted are very keen on seeing how you do that. So Compass Plus definitely allows you to be able to do that. Just something to sort of touch on around GDPR, that type of thing. So Compass Plus, you can be 100% confident in that it is compliant with GDPR. It is being through sort of rigorous tests, and all of the information in there, only the people that you want to have access to it can have access to it. And what I will do is I will show you where you can add new users and the different sort of allowances that you can give those users in order to be able to either interact with Compass Plus, or just purely to look at information from that perspective as well. So previously, I never had a system like Compass Plus, and when I was doing careers lead, I had things saved on spreadsheets, on USB sticks, and the one thing that I was then open to was having duplicate versions saved, possible viruses, that type of thing, corruption for the files. Whereas Compass Plus, everything is in one place. It allows you to store, upload information all in one place, so that you know that it's safe and secure, and only those people that you give access to Compass Plus has access to it as well. In terms of, as you may grow as a school and you get more students, you may work with more businesses, more employers, it has the scope to scale and grow as well. So the opportunity to be able to grow your database, to grow your activities and your plans it can be easily done within Compass Plus. And then the last section there, allowing you to have a really targeted approach. You can download Excel files from your your activities, and you can really drill down into popular areas where you may need to focus more attention on. And it really allows you to be more strategic in that way with your careers program. So a couple of reasons why invest time within Compass Plus. So one thing that I've certainly come across as I've delivered these sessions is that time is kind of the one thing that people don't have a lot of. And I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it always seems to be the barrier that people say, I haven't really got time to do this. But it is very much a speculate to accumulate scenario. So the more time that you do spend working on Compass Plus, using it, then the more you will get back out of it, and the more sort of proficient you will become. And so again, saving time in that respect. So why invest time? It allows you to save time by your planning. You can be more strategic with the areas that you focus on. This could be based off the evaluations and your visualization on your benchmarks and how you are progressing towards those. It'll allow you as a school to maybe focus on specific areas as opposed to everything as a whole. So it allows you to be really more strategic and targeted with your careers provision. Measure and monitor effectively. There's lots of data visualizations that you can get out from Compass Plus that you can then use to support conversations with SLT, with governors, where you may be needing to ask for extra resource, extra time, whatever it may be, to help drive your careers program forwards, but you may be experiencing blockers. The information that Compass Plus can give you can support those conversations and really allow you to plan and build a better careers program as a result of that. Reach and build a wider network. So within Compass Plus, there is a section on careers partners. So these are the businesses and employees that you work with. Everything can be stored in one place. So you've got that really rich database of clients and businesses that you can work with. You can add to those at any point. And in terms of saving time, you're not having to re-input information when you're planning new activities for your learners. It allows you to just, at the click of a button, upload all the information, and it's done and then saved. So it allows you to really keep building that network as it grows. And then the final one there, collaborate with colleagues. This is where, and I will mention this in the demo, where you can add in different users to your Compass Plus account. So what this is in the hope of is making it a school initiative. Careers should be not just on the shoulders of careers leads. It should be a sort of a trained up approach, and everybody sort of pushing in the same direction. So the more people that you can get involved with uploading activities to your plans and your programs, the better. And Compass Plus allows you to do that with ease. And then the last section there is the help center, which again I'll touch on at the very end. But there's some sort of self-help learning in there where you can go on and access a couple of modules, which will hopefully build your confidence and your proficiency in using Compass Plus and being able to navigate your way around the product to get the most out of it. So investing time, I know it's one of those where people don't have a lot spare, but any bit that you can use, and the more that you use Compass Plus, the more confident you will get in using it, and hopefully in that respect save time as well. Okay, so what I will do, I will just jump into my demo account. Okay, so I will log back in. And then I will start to go through and show you where you can access different areas of Compass Plus and how you can get the most out of it from an approach of somebody who's relatively new to Compass Plus, and also then somebody who's maybe used it a few times. So when you log on to your Compass Plus account, this is what you will face to start with. So this is your dashboard. This is your landing page, and what you've got on here straight away is the first data visualization, which I will sort of touch on. So what we've got here, this is your current position as to how you as a school are tracking against your benchmark. So from a very quick look at this, you can see where you're achieving or not achieving within all of your benchmarks, and where there may be work to do. Again, in terms of being strategic, you may want to focus on particular benchmarks, that type of thing, and it allows you at a glance to be able to do that. Where this information comes from is from your evaluations. So if we go onto our navigation bar down the left-hand side here, and if I click into evaluations, I will show you simply where you can complete these. Now, these should be completed termly. That way it gives you that most up-to-date approach and situation as to how you're progressing against your benchmark. So we always say complete these termly to just really see where your areas of focus need to be. So very simply, we click into new evaluation. It will then take you to this second page. And what you'll find here is you've got a little 8-part form, okay? And each one of these are the different Gatsby benchmarks. And it takes you through systematically the questions that are linked to each of these benchmarks. So a full evaluation will, like it says there, it'll take around 30 minutes. That may get quicker as you sort of as you grow more confident in using the system. I will also show you in a moment how we can actually save a lot of time with this as well when you go to complete sort of subsequent event evaluations. So if I just click next, and I'll give you a bit of an idea as to sort of what things look like as you go through. I'll not complete a full evaluation, but we'll just give you a bit of a flavour. So on our first one, we're looking at our institution. So let's say we're the careers leader for our school. So we would then click next. What you'll notice now, and this is a new function within Compass Plus, is that this information here, this is all the information on all of our students, all of our learners within our school as at yesterday or last night, this morning. Because what happens here is your MIS system syncs up with Compass Plus, and it migrates and it downloads all of your information from your MIS system, and it populates it into Compass Plus overnight. So when you leave one night and then return the next morning, this information will be reflective of any learners that have either joined your school or left your school the previous day. And as long as they are not in the system on your MIS system, then they'll not be in these here. So all of these figures in terms of your numbers for each year for your learners, they're already populated in there. So straight off, this is a really, really great time-saving part of Compass Plus. It pulls the information through and then populates it in here for you. So that is already done. So that's our learner section. If we click next, we're now going into our benchmark one, and this is where it's talking about your stable careers program. Okay, so if you're relatively new to the role and you maybe don't know all of the answers to these questions, there is a way that you can print them out. So we could click on this printable version for schools, and what it will do is it will give you every single one of the questions that is asked within one of the evaluations. Now, what you may be able to do here is you could print that out, and you may go to somebody who's previously completed an evaluation, or somebody else who may be able to support you with the information that you need. You can sort of annotate your printout, come back to your evaluation and complete it that way. This is just in case you don't know the information that the evaluation is asking for. So you would literally just work your way through. You could click any answers that are applicable, click next, and then it will move you through to the next page. Now, if time is of the essence or you're completing your evaluation and somebody needs you really urgently, you can always save your evaluation and come back to it at a later date. So if I click Save and Complete later and then return to my evaluations, what Compass Plus will now do is it has saved that particular evaluation. If I go into your evaluations, and then once this page loads up, scroll down to evaluations and last updated, what we can see here is that these are our in progress evaluations. Now, in your Compass Plus, you won't have this many evaluations in progress. If anything, you will only have one. These are just ones that I've been using as I've been delivering different sessions and just left them in progress. But what you would do is, this is the one that I've just started here. So 7th of November, if we click into actions and we go to resume evaluation, we can go straight back in. And what it does, it brings us up to the part that we left it at. So you can then continue on and complete that evaluation when you've got more time to do so. A little time-saving tip. So you can see that obviously there's the 8 sections there, and it said at the start that it takes around about 30 minutes to complete. Now, if you've done your evaluation for this term, and then you move into the next term, rather than having to start all over again and complete all of that information, tick all the boxes, dot all the little circles, what you can do is you can go to your last completed evaluation, which is evaluations from previous years, or it'll be previous terms. If we click into the plus button there, and if we click update evaluation, what it will then do is it will upload our last evaluation. If I just click copy, and what we've got now is you can see here that the information, if I just click next and start working our way through this, this is our last completed evaluation. Now, if nothing's changed from your perspective as a school, then you can work your way all the way through the different areas of the evaluation, which are already pre-populated as per your last evaluation. Save that, and then that will update your benchmarks on that dashboard page. So a really, really great time-saving tool whereby you don't need to go away and find all the information again. It's already there for you. Now, where all of this information then is shown or is displayed is here. So this dashboard here is where you're at as per your last evaluation. So if you completed it this morning, if you completed it yesterday, last week, this will be reflective of your last evaluation, and it will allow you to see at any point in time sort of how you are doing as per your last evaluation. Now, if you've got activities that you've got planned already, and in an ideal world, if they go ahead, what we can do is we can look at, if we have all our planned activities, if they were to go ahead, we can click into that box there and we can see what difference they would make. So if a member of SLT who's tasked with find out how we're doing as a careers provision, careers program, and they want to know, okay, at the end of the year, how will we be tracking if everything went ahead? We could go into our planned activities, and in an ideal world, if everything happens and everything goes ahead, this can then show you what the impact of all of the planned activities will have within your program. Again, this then allows you to look at the areas where you need to maybe have more focus and be more strategic on, and create new activities for your learners. But it allows you to see where you will be if everything goes ahead as per your plan. So a great little tool to be able to share information with other teachers, other SLTs, that type of thing. Now, if you wanted to go into a meeting with this information, you can generate a report. So if you just click the generate report there, and what we will get is we'll get a PDF version that you can print out and take into a meeting to be able to say, look, you know, we need to put on extra activities, we need to have extra focus in this area. However, we need time, we need money, we need resource, and this is the information that can help you with that. So that's a nice little tool there to be able to see where you are as per your achievement towards your benchmarks and how we do them from the evaluations. Now, in terms of getting somebody to help you upload or input activities into your program, if I click up here into our plus button, this is our account. And if we click into user management, what you will see here is this is obviously my demo account. So this is all dummy data that's in here. But these are all the people that are on my Compass Plus in the various roles that they've got, various capacities as to what they can do within Compass Plus. So if you were wanting to see what each role means, if you hover over the little I button there, so if you're an admin, and what we always advise is to have at least 2 admins on your Compass Plus. The reason for that is that if one admin's off, then you've always got somebody that can have access to the data, that can add people, that can remove people, that can gain access to all of the data that's stored within Compass Plus. So your admin, they can do pretty much everything. They can add, they can remove, they can create activities, they can look at data visualizations, that type of thing. Editors, now these could be maybe receptionists, they could be other teachers in your school. If you put somebody on as an editor, what they can then do is they can create evaluations, they can create activities, but what they can't do is they can't delete data and they can't remove anything. So all they can do is input. Now, if that means they are inputting, if you've got a science teacher, for example, who is having an employee come in to do a talk to their learners, they could put that on as an activity, and it saves you time and effort in the process as well. And then the last role you've got here is the viewer. So the viewer can only look at the information that's in there. They can't edit anything. So that could be, you may want your head teacher, you may want your governors to be able to access the data, but just purely from a visual perspective. And the way that you can create a new user, and it is very, very simple, very quick, is in the create a new user, all you would need is their email address, their name, and their job role. And you will then just click create. Once you click create, they will then appear in here. They will get an email to the email that you put in there, and they will then activate their account. And depending on what role you put them down as, they can then start accessing Compass Plus and hopefully starting to create activities so that you can save time, but then you can also build a really, really strong careers program. And again, it will then obviously allow you to hit those benchmarks and see where you're tracking against them. So if I then touch on our activities and how you can then create activities within your plan. So if again, on our left-hand side here, on our navigation bar, if we go into create a new activity, it'll start to ask you, do you want to create an activity for benchmark 1, or do you want to create an activity for benchmark 2 to 8? Now, as the majority of the activities that you will be planning will be around 2 to 8, if we just stick with that there, if we then click create activity, it takes you to this blank form, okay? And another sort of time-saving tip here is, whilst there are quite a few fields here that need to be populated, in order for an activity to be benchmarked or counted or assessed against a particular benchmark, the only 2 fields that you need to complete in the offset are these first 2. So all you need to do is give your activity a name. So let's say we're just going to do a careers fair. And then you need to select a main benchmark that this will be being assessed against. So if we just, let's say it's going to be aspiration raising. So we're going to benchmark, and we're going to assess it against benchmark 3 and aspiration raising. What we could then do now is we could scroll down to the bottom. We don't need to add anything else in it at this moment. Save activity, and that will be saved into your plan. And if you looked at your planned activities where I showed you on that main dashboard page, that would then be in there, and it would be then assessed against benchmark 3. So it would show you where your benchmark 3 would move to as a result of this activity being in there. Now, if you do have plenty of time to be able to complete this, it may be that some activities that you put into your plan, you feel maybe achieve more than 1 benchmark, so you can then put in subsequent categories. It could be, I don't know, PhD careers learning, that type of thing. You can then put in subsequent benchmarks as to what you think this activity may be assessed against. You then put your lead for this particular activity. So let's say it's Mr. Smith. You would have a start and an end date. The reason that they have this in is that most activities tend to start and end on the same day. However, you may be putting work experience in as an activity, at which point it might be starting on a Monday, finishing on a Friday, and then you would have your start and end time as well. So you would populate those pieces of information as well. When we move down now, so this is the part where you're going to start adding particular learners to this activity here, to this careers fair. So it may be that you're running it just for a particular cohort, it may be a year group, it may be a particular custom group. But at the moment, we can filter on these different sort of characteristics here. So if I deselected these and just said, okay, I want to just look at my custom groups that I've got saved within my Compass Plus, and we can see here that we've got a few different ones saved. These will not populate from your MIS. However, these other groups will, your teacher groups, year groups, they will pull through from your MIS system. The custom groups, they won't. These are groups that you have created yourself within Compass Plus for a specific reason. It may be as a result of some of the information that you got back from the FSQ that you want to put on a particular activity for a group of learners that have expressed that they have very little knowledge in a particular area. So you may create a custom group for that particular set of learners. So I've already done one here. I've done an aspiration talk. So that's going to be within our careers. If you wanted to edit and amend this particular group, you can literally click on that little pencil and it will show you who the learners are that are set up within this aspiration talk. So we've got 48 learners in there. If you know Kelly Powell's not going to be there, you can just literally take them out. Neither is Kelly Thomas, and you can do that way. You can add more learners in if you wanted to. You can go with individual learners, but it allows you to be very bespoke as to who you want to include for that particular activity. It also does save time if you're just including whole year groups, form groups, that type of thing. So we've got our learners that are going to be in on that activity there. What we then might want to do is, because it was a careers fair, we might want to now start adding our employers. Okay, so because if I just scroll up a little bit here, we've got this little section over here, which is our careers partners. So as you populate and add in employers and businesses that you may be working with at the school, and you save them within your careers partners section, they will then, if I just click in here, they'll then all be saved in here. So at the click of a button, we could add Act 1 Digital in. So Act 1 Digital, they're going to be our careers fair, maybe Bob's Hardware Stories, that type of thing. You don't need to then be inputting individual details, contact numbers, that type of thing. Everything's saved and stored within your database. And as you select the employers and businesses that you want to attend particular activities, you can very easily access them there as well. You may want to add notes in. It may be that you want to chase the learners up with a questionnaire. It may be that you want to arrange lunch. So you might say, get in touch with catering to provide lunch, that type of thing. And once you've done that, you would click Save Activity, and that would be then transported into your activities, which is in this section here. So our next one down is your activities. I'm going to leave that page there. And what I will show you here is a couple of things. So this one to start with, this is our current activities, and this is our current careers plan. So we've got, at the moment, 67 activities on our plan, which are meeting all of the 8 benchmarks. Now, just something to note here, that if you are using a partner platform where you maybe already log and store your activities that you're planning for your learners, if you were wanting to download that information out of your partner platform and then upload it into Compass Plus, this is where we would do it. So depending on what your partner platform is, there will be a process, which again, I can show you in the help center, as to how you would download your activities, or I think in Unifrog, they call it interactions, and different platforms will have different names for it. You would download those activities that you've got planned to an Excel spreadsheet. You could then save that to your hard drive or your desktop. And then what you would do is very simply click on this up arrow here, which is upload activities to plan. So you've downloaded your spreadsheet. If we click on that, what you can then do is you can either drag and drop the Excel sheet into here, or you can select a file and then locate it within your on your computer or your laptop. And then you will just select file, and then it will upload all of your plans that were in your partner platform, and it will populate them into Compass Plus. This will then update this section here. Your plans and your activities, they will then increase depending on how many you've uploaded, as will the benchmarks that they're going to be assessed against. If you've got your own bespoke way of completing or logging and storing your activities, and they're done maybe on your own spreadsheet, you can still upload them into Compass Plus, but it's in a different way. If I click download plan, what this will then do is it will Yeah, I was just going to say it should have done it. It will download a tracker. And what you can then do is you can take all of this information out here, and as long as you've got all of your headings in there, you can then populate that information with the learners, the UPN numbers, that type of thing, and then you can then upload it back into your Compass Plus. You can download the sort of template of a spreadsheet because it's very specific. Populate the information from your own spreadsheet that you maybe are using to store your activities, and then you can re-upload that. Now, if we just had a little look into our activities and plans, so this is our particular plan that we've got at the moment within my demo account, and this just allows us to see all of the different activities that we've got within our plan and the different benchmarks that they are achieving. So we could sort on benchmarks. So we've got 1 all the way through to 8. We could look at particular start dates. So what are our most recent activities that we're going to be completing, and it allows you to really sort of be more strategic, looking at your areas or where there may be gaps, and allowing you to try and make any interventions where you need to. So that is where your activities would sit. That is how you would then upload your information from your partner platform into Compass Plus as well. Now, another section that is very important within Compass Plus and where you get a lot of information from is the Future Skills Questionnaire. And where we access the Future Skills Questionnaire is within the Learner section. So if we go into Learner and then Questionnaire, it takes us to this landing page here. So this is where you can access the different types of questionnaires. So you've got 5 questionnaires in total. You've got your start and secondary, transition from Key Stage 3, GCSE years, post-16 study, and then you've got your SEND version as well. The SEND version is the only questionnaire that remains the same throughout all year groups, and that is just because it's done on year groups, as opposed to sort of key stages. And it may be that your SEND learners, the language and the terminology within there is slightly different to that of what we call the mainstream curriculum versions of the questionnaire. The 4 types of questionnaires within mainstream curriculum, they are broadly the same, but they do slightly change in terms of their questions as you progress through the years. But that is just based on the sort of transition points that the learners are at within their sort of careers education. Now, to find out information on the questionnaires, if we click into this little here section, it will then again take us to a secondary page. And if we scroll down to the bottom here, you can download each of the questionnaires to a PDF if you wanted to do that to hand out to the learners. Subsequently, if we scroll down to the bottom and we look for guidance on all aspects of implementing Future Skills Questionnaire, and scroll to the bottom here, there are 3 files that we sort of advise to sort of look at. So if we went with the learner guide first, now this could be something that you use within a careers lesson. And we found that the way in which you set up launching the FSQ, the Future Skills Questionnaire, very much depends on the uptake and the amount of completions that you get from your learners. So if we set it up correctly, advise them on what it is, what they're going to do, we found that information is that learners have completed the skills questionnaire a lot more timely. And with the Future Skills Questionnaire, the data that you get out of it is only as good as the amount of questionnaires that get completed. So with this little PowerPoint, it's only 6 slides long. First one is about what Future Skills Questionnaire is. Second slide is about why the learners will be completing it. Third one is how will the responses be used. The 4th and the 5th one, they link to the different types of questions within the questionnaire. And then the last one, how to answer the questions as well, because it's multi-choice. You could then sort of go through it. If this was done within a careers lesson, like I say, we found that the learners are not sort of scared of when this link comes into their inbox. They don't know what to do with it, and so they then just leave it. Whereas if we set it up correctly, then we found that the uptake is a lot higher. So that is the first one there. So that's a PowerPoint guide that can be used for the learners. I just go back to this one here. The next section is the send guide. So because the send guide is slightly different, or the send questionnaire is slightly different, it's designed to be complete as part of a one-to-one careers conversation. So it's not something that you are going to set for homework for the send learners. It is something that will be done either with a parent, a carer, or certainly a careers lead within the school as well. So we can print this out. You can go through this with the learner sort of step by step. It explains what the questions are, why again they'll be answering them. If it's going to be sent home for learners to complete, then these give explanations to the types of questions, so the parent or the carer get an idea of what type of information we're looking for and what type of answer they are looking for from particular questions. So again, it's allowing the clarity and the ease of access to completing the questionnaire from a send perspective. So that's that one. Then the last one is a bit of narrative for any parents or carers that you may want to send out information to as to why their son or their daughter is completing the Future Skills Questionnaire and what the information will be used from. So you could literally copy and paste this into an email. You could put it onto a letter if you wanted to, send it out. So some parents and some carers, from my experience, are very involved in their sons and daughters' careers education, and they want to know why they're completing these questionnaires. It allows you to explain that things are GDPR compliant and that no information will be shared without authorization. So that can be just sent out as a little bit of narrative, a little bit of support as to what the Future Skills Questionnaire is and why the learners will be completing it. Okay, so if I go back to the actual questionnaire part, how you then access the links, how you generate links for the learners and then send them out is within this section here. So we've got 4 tabs across the top here. So we've got generate and manage links, we've got summary report, detailed report, and a send report. And I'll go through these, just touching on sort of what they give you. So in order to generate links for your learners, yes, yeah, please feel free to ask questions, definitely, Hina, thank you. So the way to generate links for your learners is in this way. So we're on our generate links, we're in our current year group or in our current academic year. We would then select the particular year group that we want to generate links for. Let's say we're going to do for year 10. If we click then generate new links, it takes us to this secondary screen. And what we do is if we follow it systematically down, we click in this first box. And what this does straight away is it almost acts like a bit of a default so that you can't select the wrong questionnaire. It only allows you to select a questionnaire that is relevant to sort of your year 10s, which would be either GCSE years or the send version. Now, the send version will be always in this drop-down box because it's the same throughout all year groups or stages. So if we just selected GCSE years, so we've got that in there. This then now, these are all of my year 10s that are within my Compass Plus that has been uploaded from your MIS. Now, if I wanted to generate links and send them out directly to the learners' emails, I would just click this little box here. So we've selected that. We've got the option now to be able to select form groups, teaching groups, so that you can be more time efficient. If we wanted to, however, just send it out to all of our year 10s, we would just select that box at the top there, scroll down to the bottom, and then you would click the generate and send links. Now, I don't want to do that, but just to sort of show you what that would look like. If I was not wanting to send the links out straight away, but still generate links for all of my year 10, if I just deselected that button there, what we'll now find is that it just says generate links. So it's not going to generate links and send. It may be that it's just you want to generate a few links to start with. So if I deselect all of our learners and I just select Freddie Brown and I generate a link because I maybe want to just try this for the first time. And I want to make sure that it works. So I want to just select Freddie Brown's pupil account, generate the link for Freddie Brown. It will now let me know that it is the Compass Plus lets you know that it's generating a link for Freddie Brown. It will let us know when that is done. And once that has been done, excellent. That is now complete. All I need to do is look for I go around, if I look for Freddie Brown, what we can see now is this link here. This is a bespoke Future Skills Questionnaire link for Freddie Brown. No other learner will have the same code or same number as this, so it stops duplication or learners completing other learners' questionnaires. And if you wanted to, you could very easily just copy and paste the link. You could then send it in an email to Freddie and say, Freddie, can you please check your emails? I've sent you a Future Skills Questionnaire link. Could you go in there, access it, and then complete the questionnaire? By doing it this way, it allows you to sort of just make sure that everything's working correctly rather than trying to send it out to a whole year group and having problems. So by doing it this way, you can kind of ensure that things are working the way they should. A couple of things to note here as well is that if you are planning on completing, let's say, the questionnaires as part of a career session, that we suggest that you always generate and send these links to your learners 24 hours in advance of when you actually plan to carry out the session. That way, it allows you to be confident that the links will have landed into their inboxes. Because if you're generating them at 9 o'clock in the morning to do a session at 9:15, you can guarantee that the world of technology being what it is, half of them will land in the learners' inboxes, half of them won't, and then your session's sort of disjointed with some learners sitting going, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't have a link, that type of thing. Another point to note is that when you are generating links and you are sending them, it's to make sure that the information that is stored within your current MIS system is accurate and up to date. So email addresses are whitelisted and that they aren't parents' emails, that they are student email accounts, so that when you do send the information through, that you are confident that it's going to land in the learner's inbox and that they can then access the links and generate the questionnaires. So once you've got those questionnaires sent and your learners are then starting to complete the questionnaires, once they have done that, you would then look in this summary report. And what you can then see straight away is if I'm going to toggle back to sort of some previous years, so if I go to 21-22, so the information that this is then going to pull through is all of the learners that completed the Future Skills Questionnaire that I generated and what that information looks like. So at the top here, we've got the two different types of questionnaires that learners complete. So they've got the careers, knowledge and skills and the essential skills for life. So these are part of the skills builder framework questions. And then you've got how you can sort between question number and positive responses. So the information that this gives you and where this can then allow you to make interventions and really tailor your careers program to your learners is through this information. So if I just start with this as the secondary one here, what this first bar is telling me is that I have we've got 108 learners have completed the Future Skills Questionnaire. That is representative of 95% of my year 7. So of all of the links that I generated and sent out, 95% of my year 7s have completed them, at which point that is 108. So we've almost got 100% completion, which means it's very reflective of our year 7s and what their interpretation is of their careers knowledge. So we've got the next section is 55%. So the 55% of learners have answered questions in a positive manner, which means we've got a bit of a 50-50 split. And what it then does, it chronologically lists the questions and allows you to see sort of how the responses are. So we've got 54% have answered question 1 negatively and 46 have answered positively. What I like to do there, so it's great to see that information in a chronological order, but what I find is really useful is if we click on positive responses, what Compass Plus will now do is it will put the questions in which have been answered the most positive at the top and which have been answered most negative at the bottom. And what that hopefully allows you to then do as careers leads is to look at that information and see maybe where your interventions need to take place. And it allows you to be a bit more strategic with the activities that you plan. So for example, if we said here, so question 6, we've got at school, do you know who to go for information and guidance about careers? I'm going to say worryingly, but maybe it's not worryingly because this is just year 7s and so they're new into sort of secondary school. But you've got over half of your year 7s have said that they haven't got a clue who they need to go to in order to get some advice on careers. Now, that could be a very easy, very quick fix for you as a careers lead. You may attend an assembly and introduce yourself and kind of say, look, this is who I am, this is my team. You may put up notices in the notice board around school to sort of say, if you've got any careers questions, email this email or contact this person, that type of thing. So you could very easily start to fix and address some of these questions where your learners have kind of answered in a negative manner and said that they aren't really sure about certain areas within their careers program. So what it allows you to do is be really specific. It may depend on what the questions are. So this one here, have you thought about how jobs and careers may change in the future? So we've got, nearly 60% of learners are saying, actually, no, I haven't thought about that at all. You may put on a careers fair. You may invite a few employees in to talk about what their business is and what the skills and qualities are that learners may need to do their jobs, how their jobs have changed over the last decade. Whatever it may be, it allows you to be really specific and strategic with how you plan your careers provision. What it also allows you to do is potentially identify those learners that may be at risk of becoming NEET. And so again, you can then start to make interventions and really individualize your careers program for those learners that may be at risk. So that's our sort of summary report. What the detailed report then offers us is, if I still go into 21-22, is it allows us to then really drill down as to who specific learners may be that we need to help and support. So again, the information here is slightly the same as that first summary report, but allows us to really go more granular. So the information is the same. So we've still got the 108 learners have completed it, 95% representative of our year 7s, 55% have answered in a positive manner. Now, what we can do here is we can start to look at who those particular learners are. So we've got 26 learners have answered over 2/3 of the questions positively. 80 are a bit of a mixed bag. But then we've got 2 learners who've answered less than a third positively. So if we've only got sort of 12 questions in there, that means they're answering quite a lot of questions negative. And what we can do is, if we just click in the bar chart there, we can see who those 2 learners are. And what we can now start to do is we can start to look at who they are. It may be that we want to create a custom group to address the needs that they've expressed a sort of a weakness in, or a lack of understanding in. And it allows you to possibly have some one-to-one conversations. It may be that you knew Mandy Stevens was going to be quite negative because she's had large periods of absence. However, Keely Wilson is okay. Keely Wilson is maybe being portraying great signs and showing greater understanding. However, the questions and the way she's answered them has maybe thrown up a couple of red flags, at which point you may want to then sit down with Keely and just have that conversation. So you can really start to address individual learner needs as a result of the answers that you are getting back from your questionnaire. It may then, like I mentioned previously, sort of alert you to creating custom groups to address particular needs if there's quite a few learners in that section. So it allows you to really start being strategic with your careers and your planning for your activities. On the right-hand side here on this chart, we have got different characteristics that you can filter on. So we can look at our low scoring questions, and it lets you know which questions your year 7s are answering in the sort of the most negative manner. It allows you to look at 25%, 50%, that type of thing. It allows you to also compare groups. So we could look at how our boys and girls in year 7 are answering particular questions. And dependent on if there are any sort of disparities between the sort of 2, you may then start to focus on particular groups. It may be that your girls are showing a lack of confidence. So you may bring in some female entrepreneurs, that type of thing, to do some talks around sort of female power in society, that type of thing. So it allows you to sort of filter down on the gender, pupil premium, SEN, and then on this end one, again, we can look at pupil premium, non-pupil premium, SEN and non-SEN. but it allows you to really sort of drill down into the specifics of particular areas and look at how particular characteristic groups are answering questions. And then based on that, you may then make some interventions within your careers program, or it may help you steer it in a particular direction that you need to address the needs of your learners. The SEND report looks very, very similar to the sort of the detailed report in the respect that these charts look very similar. The only difference being here is where before we would have our different transition stages, these are our key stages. So because the SEND questionnaire is the same throughout all year groups, it's just focused on the different key stages. Something to sort of point out here that I haven't done previously is that if you do have any SEND, if you are a SEND school, obviously, then again, you may feel that some of your learners would be able to complete the let's say the mainstream curriculum questionnaire. If that's the case, then absolutely fine. You could get them to do that. Again, this comes down to your best judgment. So if you feel confident that your learners will be able to complete that, then please feel free to allow them to do so. The questionnaires themselves, they should be done once every academic year, and if links are generated and sent out and they are not completed, they will expire and they will be deleted at the end of July, and you would then need to regenerate and start new ones the following academic year. So questionnaires should be done once a year. What we normally suggest is doing it at the start of the year as a bit of a benchmark, and then you can sort of look at these results, and you can then start to make any plans, any interventions that you need to for the year ahead. Some schools do it at the end of the year, and they then use these results as more of a reflective tool, and then maybe start to make plans for the subsequent year ahead as well. But it's completely down to your own judgment as to what questionnaires you get learners to do, certainly if it's within the SEND setting, and then at what point you do those as well. So the information, like I was saying before, on the SEND report is very much like the detailed report. So again, you can look at who these particular 5 learners are that are answering questions quite negatively, and it may form a careers conversation. It may allow you to sort of put on a particular activity, create a particular group to address the needs of these learners. And then the right hand side here is again exactly the same in terms of what you can filter down onto and look at the information. Okay, so that is how you generate links, how you send them out, and then how you would look at that data and how you would use that data to try and inform your careers program and make any interventions that you need to, again, to hopefully stop these particular 5 learners becoming NEET, that type of thing. So it allows you to really look at the information at a granular level. If I just touch on the help centre now, so this is where if you needed to, you could go to access some help and support. So if you're either new to Compass Plus or you've been using it but just want to understand how to get more out of it, we always direct users to the help center first. So there's lots of YouTube clips and narratives and articles in here that should hopefully be able to help you address any issues that you've got with using Compass Plus. So if we look at this left-hand column to start with, if I just clicked in Getting Started, if I clicked on that, it will then take you to a few different hyperlinks on Quick Start with Compass Plus, how you can access different things within Compass Plus. If, for example, you had a particular query or problem and you knew what it was about, if it was just to do with uploads, if I just type in uploads, and then what it will do is it will give you information on how you can upload data from your partner platform. So, for example, if I click on the Unifrog one, what we get is lots of screen grabs, and then we will also get a little YouTube video. So it tells you how to download your interactions within Unifrog, how to sort of download them to a CSV file or an Excel file, and then yes, create once. The links we created once here. Yeah. Yes, that's correct. Sorry, I was just looking at that question. So yeah, it'll allow you to show you how to download the activities from your partner platform, where you can then go in Compass Plus to upload those, which I just showed you earlier about how we can upload your plan. And then what we will also have is there are YouTube videos as well within these help articles. The YouTube videos are very short. They are maybe 2-3 minutes long maximum, so they're not too time consuming, and they will hopefully give you the information that you need in order to bypass the problem or the query that you've got. In the middle column here, this is where we run deep dive sessions into all of these areas within Compass Plus, and it goes into greater detail as to how you can get the most out of those particular areas, how they can help you be more strategic, time saving, and how you can then create the best sort of careers program moving forward. So within the view training, if you clicked in that section, it will take you to a subsequent page, which is Compass Training. And what you would then do is you would join the course, and there are a couple of modules in there where you can then start to increase your proficiency within using Compass Plus. And again, it allows you to go through all the different sections. You get a little certificate at the end of it once you've completed that. This section here is our webinars. So we do the webinars on all the different areas past, so you can access previous webinars within here. You can also sign up to future webinars. We have them on interest and destinations. We have them on planning activities, careers partners, that type of thing. So if you wanted to attend them, you can. If you wanted to view previous ones, they're in there as well, and they're about 45 minutes long, but hopefully they would give you information that you may need to help overcome the problem that you're experiencing. And then in the final section here, you've got our resource directory. So if you are wanting to create an activity for a particular benchmark, rather than sort of scouring Google and reinventing the wheel, you could literally click in our resource directory, and then you could start filtering down as to what type of activity you want. And within here, I'm sure that's actually over 400 now. You've got access to lots of different resources, lesson plans, activities that will help you create activities to then achieve those benchmarks. If all else fails and you are still struggling and you can't sort of find a solution to the problem that you've got, whatever that may be, then you can click in here, which is our contact support. So if you click in there, it will take you again to a contact support page. You would just complete, put in a title for whatever it is that your problem you're experiencing, a little bit of a description in there, and then you would submit that. That will then generate a ticket number that will go through to Costas and the team. They will action that, and they will then get back in touch with you, whether that is on a phone call, via your email, a Teams or a Zoom meeting, and then hopefully be able to support you through whatever problems you may be experiencing and how you can then move past them as well. Okay, so I think that kind of, we've got about sort of 10 minutes left. That probably brings us to the end of the sections that I wanted to cover there, really, because there is a lot to go into, and I have absolutely no doubt I've probably either gone too fast or missed some areas out that you may want to know about. But the thing to sort of mention is the more you use Compass Plus, the more proficient you get at it, and the better you get at it, the more confident you get. But it's a tool that once you start using it, you will get a lot of information back from it in terms of all the data visualizations you can access, from achieving benchmarks to interests and destinations and where your learners are moving on to next. So it's such a powerful tool, completely data driven, and so it's as good as the information that's in there. So in terms of things like your FSQ, that type of stuff, it's a really big area to focus on to allow you to really understand what your learners perceive to be sort of their careers understanding, and how you can then really help move that forward and give them the best sort of careers program throughout their sort of school life. So if I come back
Thank you, Peter. And there is one question on the chat page, and it's regarding the FSQ.
Yes.
It says, just absolutely. To confirm, the links can be created once a year and ideally completed at the beginning of the year.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, if I just sort of go back into the learner questionnaire. So yeah, when you're generating the links, if we're just in, let's say we're going to go with our year sevens. I think I was trying to catch up there. Yeah, so we would always say generate them each academic year. ideally at the start, because then that allows you to see the information that is coming back from it, and it can allow you to then really steer your careers provision and your careers program in the direction that best suits the responses that you're getting from your learners. There's nothing wrong with obviously doing it at the end of the year. But again, it's almost then, time has passed, and it can be a reflective tool. But it's, in terms of putting plans in place, it's definitely better to do it at the start of the year and then use that as a benchmark to sort of move forwards.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions? I think silence is golden sometimes.
Well, I think
there's one, actually, you know what? There's one slide, and I always forget to do this. I'm going to just go back to my PowerPoint. Not that one. This one. If I share this particular screen, would it be possible? Could I ask people, if whoever's still on, to access the QR code there and leave any feedback from today's session? So any feedback is always really, really welcome, and it helps us to sort of steer our sessions like this moving forward to make sure that we're covering the right areas and that people are getting the most from it. So if I could ask anyone that's still on to access the QR code and then just leave some feedback, that would be fabulous. And again, like I say, it allows us to really critique our delivery so that everybody's getting the most from the sessions. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, everybody on the call this evening. I will stop recording now.